What is going on, my peeps? Your boy Versatile is back with another video. Back here to talk about my beloved gimbal that I have finally gotten. Yes, this is the Zhiyun Weebill S 3-axis stabilizer gimbal. And yes, why did I get this bad boy? It was because I've been doing a lot more video recently and I needed something that could help me with that. And also help me with like stationary shots such as time lapses and hyperlapses, and if I really wanted to do like long exposure photography, if that's something I want to get into, I do have something that I can kind of take with me if I didn't want to take a tripod, or I could put this and mount this on top of the tripod to get a better positioning in terms of composition and stuff like that. So we're gonna get into why I got this, or really, yeah, more so why I got into it, what's been going on with me using this, first impression and stuff like that. But before we do, make sure you guys ignite the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so that way YouTube informs you when I drop videos. Yes, YouTube won't let you know a thing unless you hit that notification bell. So go ahead and do that right there. Now, let's head into the video. So as I said, back in 2019, September 2019 that is, I had the opportunity to use the DJI Ronin SC. It was cool, it was good. For some reason, I don't know if I just wasn't comfortable with it, but it really threw me off. And even though I knew I needed a gimbal, I didn't know what I wanted to really do in terms of whether or not I wanted to get one, because that one left a weird impression with me. Not to say it was bad or nothing like that. It's just I didn't know if I really wanted to use a gimbal, because I just felt like it was just so, I just don't know what was going on through my mind at that time. So fast forward, doing some research and seeing plenty of videos, and what I wanted to do in terms of maneuvering and using the gimbal was stumbling upon this gimbal here. Now, of course, this gimbal does not come with this piece here. This is an additional grip. I'll get into another video in terms of the accessories that I'm using to actually customize out the gimbal for my personal use. So you don't come with this grip here, but you do come with these grips right here. So these tripod feet is also an additional handle, but this is the handle it does come with. It does not come with this grip either. So it's just this, the gimbal, and then you get a ton of wires for different cameras or functionality when you hook it up to your camera. In this case, the wire that I have hooked up allows me to actually use the record function on the camera. So if I want to take pictures or record, there's a record button, and then tapping another button allows me to take pictures with this gimbal. So that's what I wanted to get it for. I needed to upgrade and improve my shots. A lot of stuff that I was doing prior to the gimbal was all handheld. And not to say that's a bad thing, but I think I'm glad that I really took my time learning handheld shots and learning how to be patient and stable and think outside the box with handheld shots. So that way when I get the gimbal, then some of those best practices I could apply when using the Weebill S, so that way I can continue to get smooth shots, whether it's transitions or just simply getting good, clean, stable shots. One of the things that I could not do with handheld was do a lot of walking and moving with handheld, because even though the A7 III has decent stabilization, the lens that I have is not like optically stabilized that I would use. So like my Sigma 16, my Sony 85-1.8, and my Sony 50-1.8, they're not optically stabilized, so that lessens how stable the shot will actually come out overall. So I couldn't get a lot of moving shots, so I was very handicapped by that. So, a few weeks ago, started to shoot some weddings, and I was finally in the position to get a gimbal. And the first thing this gimbal was on sale at $300. I don't think it's on sale anymore, but I'll have links down in the description below for this gimbal and for the Ronin SC if you are interested. This gimbal was down from $430 to $300, so I hurried up, scooped it up. The first job I did with this, the first time using the gimbal, was that Amazon project. And I dropped the video if you guys haven't seen it already. That was my first time using the gimbal, and the first time using the gimbal on a job, like for a project. So no doubt that was very scary. I was not expecting to do that. And nonetheless, it actually turned out very well, and that's just because you really got to think, okay, how do I want to make this work? And so I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad that it helped me have confidence in using this gimbal, and I use a gimbal without the accessories. So it was all just straight gimbal, moving this piece, the tripod feet, moving it from here to here, back and forth throughout the day of shooting. I was only there for about 4 or 5 hours, but in the process, it was just using it basically straight out the box. And as you guys have been seeing, as I've been talking pretty much, the original video for this was supposed to be me sitting down and like unboxing it and putting it together or assembling it, balancing it for the camera. And that didn't go so well because I was like super tired from that day because I had pretty much just came back from a job. Well, actually I did a wedding the day before, so I was like wiped out the day I actually tried to do that video for you guys. And so I just thought I would put it together as a nice little, you know, hyperlapse so that way you guys could see that process. Took me a little bit to balance it, only because again I had never used a gimbal, so it was trying to figure out how to go about balancing it, and then how to go about actually using the menu system that's built into the gimbal. And then over time that worked. The one thing that I don't think I'll actually get to work unless I get the focus mount system from Zhiyun for the Weebill S is the focus wheel right here. So this doesn't do anything. I think there's a hack or maybe a different cable you can use to plug into the camera and then control your focus. I believe a Canon or Fuji, I think it's Canon, you can actually control the wheel with the cable. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't need a focus mount system. You know, whereas this, with the wheel, you would be able to hook up the focus mount system to like the camera, and then the focus wheel would then control via the gear system, you know, focus, or in this case, what I have on here is the Polar Pro Peter McKinnon Edition 2 to 5 stop variable ND filter. Mouthful. Now, you guys probably see the box right here. I'll get into it in another video. Long story short though, I bought this 4 days prior to them unveiling the version 2. So that hurt my feelings. But it's still very solid, very, very solid filter nonetheless. And because I can do a lot of outdoor shooting, especially with weddings, having a filter really helps. And so what I did was I bought the 82mm along with Polar Pro's 82mm step-up ring from 67mm to 82. So unfortunately I can't use my 50mm for video right now. If I'm outside, it's either my Sigma 16 or my Sony 85 because they're 67mm threads. And so if I want to look at getting another ND filter, it will be for a smaller sized lens filter, which would be like a 49 or 55, and I'm guessing I might go 55 because there's like 2 lenses that I want to get that is either 49 or 55, and if I get the 55 filter, then I can get another step-up ring 49 to 55, and then I'm pretty much good there. And so, and then, you know, whatever comes with the territory after that. The Sony 135, I think it's a G Master 1.8, that has an 82mm thread, and so me having this filter at that size, I'll be good whenever I get that lens. And then the 20mm 67, I believe. So I'm good in that department with this one filter. But I'll get into even more so about it in another video. But I did want to kind of show you guys what I'm working with now for work, for videos on YouTube. You know, I will be getting back into doing some tech videos because I have the time. But that's going to be exciting because I'll be able to get more smooth shots, more smooth B-roll when I'm talking about tech, whether it is my Z Flip review coming up here soon or shortly, or whatever else that comes up. I now have something that can help me produce better videos for you guys. So this is also thanks to you guys, you know, for supporting and allowing me to invest in products like this. That way I can continue to up my game and up my work. So thank you to you guys again. Put your bar Versatile is signing out, and until the next video, wait for it.